Hey there, dietitian Teresa here and certified personal trainer. I am coming at you with another video and we're gonna go through how I plan my meals for the week. The purpose of me making this video is really just to give you some insight on my thought process when I am, thinking about what do I have going on this week? How can I prep for success with whatever phase of fitness I'm on. But when I make content for fat loss for women, what you want to think about is mainly prioritizing complex carbohydrate sources, making sure that you have non-starchy vegetables on hand to increase volume without increasing too many calories, and you also increase fiber and nutrients. Second thing is having lots of lean proteins on hand. When I say lots, I mean 1 to 2 proteins, but that can be like easy access protein sources that are really easy for you. And the third thing is to have a main fat source. Some of those like avocado, you could have ghee, avocado oil, butter, cheeses, Parmesan, feta, goat cheese, cheddar cheese, those types of things on hand that are a fat source. Also nuts and seeds, walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, fatty fish like salmon have great omega-3 properties in them for your anti-inflammatory effect in your body. And those can be some easy options for you. What I'm gonna do is take you through my process and hopefully it helps you. I'm gonna be doing like a voiceover of writing it down so that you can hear me, but also see me in writing things down just on a blank sheet of paper. Nothing fancy. And that's very realistic for me. I keep meal prep simple. I keep it realistic for the week. And just, I'm gonna take you through it. And hopefully you get some good tips from it. And it can help you out the next time you go to make your meal plan for the week to set yourself up for success. So let's dive right in. Before we dive into the step-by-step on paper, I want to take you through the very first step that you need to do initially before going through your pantry inventory, so on and so forth. So the very first thing is that you're gonna sit down. So let's say Sunday is the beginning of your week. Sunday is the beginning of my week usually. I will sit down on Friday afternoon or Saturday and I just plan that into my weekend. And I'm like, okay, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to just sit down. What do I have going on throughout the week? And I'll get my calendar out and I'm gonna see, okay, what appointments? What are my workouts looking like? What's my work hours? Do I have things going on after work or before work? And schedule those things in so that I know when am I gonna be home and what's the time frame. So like on nights that I know I have time to cook a meal and I will be home a little bit earlier, then I'll be like, okay, I have time to prep something at home. So I probably don't need to have something prepped ahead of time for that night. Second thing is really thinking very realistically what's gonna work. Now in the beginning, all I would say for the beginning of your meal planning journey, if you haven't done it before, a lot of what people do is get burnt out too soon because you are doing you're trying to do 5-6 meals throughout the week. What I would say if you're in the very beginning, you have to start somewhere and you don't want to lead to burnout is, okay, choose a breakfast that you could have for the next 3 to 4 days. Choose a lunch you could have for the next 3 to 4 days. And then choose like 1 to 2 dinners that you know you could prep ahead of time. So that's for the very beginner. Now, if you're somebody that likes variety and just will not eat leftovers, I'm sorry, but that is just your thing. So you just have to understand that you will probably have to put more work into it, and that's just the reality of it, because if you can't have like something for 3 to 4 days, I get it. Sometimes it's like, after that 4th, 5th day, but like if you want to make your journey successful, you got to think what works and what doesn't work for you realistically. And a lot of times it comes down to overwhelm and trying to do it all in the first couple weeks. It goes really well and then you're like, I'm spending 5 hours on the weekend just prepping this food. So let's just forget about that and really come to an understanding of like, if you want to see success, you just have to understand your own reality. But my reality is that have become okay with like eating some repeat meals that make my life so much easier, save me so much time during the week. All that to say, if you're caring for just yourself, is it you and your spouse? Is it you and your kids? What snacks do you need to have on hand? Now, when you're thinking about a fat loss journey, you want quick, easy, grab and go snacks. That could be like some boiled eggs. You could do mozzarella string cheese stick, even like freshly sliced deli turkey. So like boar's head type of sliced turkey or chicken from the deli. You can grab some of that, make some roll-ups. You could also do, think real food. So even if it's grabbing a few pieces of like shredded chicken that you have for a snack, or some veggies with hummus, or something like that that is easy to grab and very accessible to you. Sure, you can have some protein bars and protein shakes on hand, but I want you to primarily focus on like getting it from real food and not have the dependency on supplements as your main fuel source. Because yeah, you need it sometimes, but we want to fuel your body and we want to fuel it well. And that's just kind of reality for it. So have snacks on hand that are gonna help you reach your goals. And hey, if the family likes it, that's a bonus, but have those easy to grab options. So very first step before you do anything at all is sit down, look at your week. What do you have going on and what is realistic? And then how many meals should you have prepped, ready to go for the week ahead of time, and what nights give you a little bit more time. You can maybe get the family involved and have your time spent together cooking a meal. Moving on to step number 2, and that's gonna be doing a pantry, a fridge, and a freezer inventory. So you're gonna go through in your own home and you're gonna look around and see, what do you have on hand? So like, let's say you already have chicken breast on hand. You can find a recipe that makes chicken breast with chicken breast. And then let's say you have a ton of ground beef in there, find a recipe that has ground beef. So you get what I'm saying? So you're not buying double. And then you can see what's gonna really work for you, save money that way, and that way you're not doubling up on a ton of things. So doing the pantry, fridge, and freezer inventory, what do you already have? And then this will also save money and time, because then you're not spending time trying to search for things that you don't think you already have. So once you do your pantry, fridge, and freezer inventory, this is my next step, and this is how I plan my meal. So what I do is I will try to choose one breakfast that I can have on repeat, one lunch that I can have on repeat, and then I will do 2 dinners, 2 dinner ideas that I can Mod Podge together, and 1 to 2 snacks that will work for me that week to have on hand. Now these things will last me probably 4 days. And then let's say I get to Friday. Friday is pretty much a Mod Podge day. So when we're thinking about Friday, that equals like Mod Podge. You're throwing everything in a bowl, making a meal out of all your leftovers. And then let's say Friday night, you want to have something fun. You can go get, what we do is we sometimes go get the ingredients that Friday and make something fun Friday night. And that way that's our time spent together. What this does for myself in my situation right now, this allows for flexibility. So if I can write there, yep, spell correctly, there we go. So this allows for a lot of flexibility for me. Breakfast, I already have taken care of. So I'll think, okay, what can I make for breakfast that week? What's a lunch that I am craving or want to try a new recipe on? Do that. And then 2 dinners. And my dinners really are the batch cook method. Now, this means when I pertain to batch cook method, if you haven't seen my other videos, I talk about batch cooking and how that can really make a big difference. So essentially what these dinners look like for me is I cook a bulk of sweet potatoes, I'll cook a bulk of chicken breasts and or ground beef patties or ground beef. And then I'll cook a bulk of mixed vegetables. So whether that be a sheet pan of broccoli and zucchini, or just broccoli, or a California blend style of veggies, stir fry blend of veggies. That way I can like really pair those ingredients together for this batch cook method, and I can mix and match throughout the week if I want something different. Like if I wanted rice with that meal, I could just make rice pretty easily. It takes like 10-15 minutes, and then I can pair that with the veggie and protein I have on hand to get a little bit of a more variety in that meal. And then what I do is for the fat sources, so I'll add like avocados, do butter, cheese, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like how I do this and how I make it. So that'll last me, again, with a little recap, 4 days, just about kind of like on repeat. Friday is the Mod Podge day. So you just kind of make do when you get to Friday, and then the whole cycle repeats on Saturday into Sunday. And then that really works well for me, and it works really well for my goals that I'm currently on. So in addition to number 3, how you pick the easy breakfast thing. So I would say use keywords. So easy, high protein breakfast meal. And then you get your search results, and look at all of these search results that come up. If you want some with no eggs, you can get sheet pan breakfast burritos. If you're going gluten-free, you can type in that, gluten-free. And then it'll come up for you in Pinterest, and you can just kind of search around what looks very realistic to you. Is a breakfast bowl realistic to you? Are you on the go? So maybe you are eating breakfast on the go. That's just what your life is calling for. So easy, high protein smoothie for breakfast. Boom, you got a smoothie you can blend up and take with you on the way to work, on the way to whatever activity you have going. Choose one that looks good to the eye. A lot of times people can overlook the search engine part and use keywords. Quick, high protein, dinners, easy for families. That's another thing. That really works well for a lot of people. So like, look at all these that come up. Lazy high protein meal ideas. Who wouldn't love that? And looking through that, I look this up too, because like when I do my meal planning, I like to look up for families, because usually it's a recipe that will make 4 to 6 servings, and then I can have that on repeat throughout the week too. You can use that for lunches, you can use that for dinners, and that's kind of how I go through it and find my meals. But I already explained my batch prep method, where it's just taking like simple ingredients and putting a meal together in that sense. So now that you already have like steps 1 through 3 down, you found your recipes, you did that, then what I do is I will go and I will put a date at the top of whatever grocery list, and then I will make grocery list. And I like to do this in my notes app on my iPhone. You can also do it written out, and I'll show you that right here. So a blank piece of paper, or use your notes app where you can kind of check off the bubbles as you make the list. So like, let's say for breakfast, I know I was gonna do, let's just say overnight oats. Let's just keep it easy. Overnight oats, and then I would write ingredients here, and then kind of like a checklist. Oh, oats I already have, so I'd be like oats, perfect. Protein powder, already got, perfect. And then so on and so forth. So you write ingredients down, see what you have, so when you go to the grocery store, you're not repeating on these things. Same with, so doing lunch. Lunches are gonna be let's just say lunches are gonna be a taco bowl. Easy taco bowl. So I found that, let's say I found the recipe on Pinterest, and then I'm like, okay, very easy taco bowl. Pinto beans. Okay, probably don't have those in my pantry after seeing those in the pantry thing. I got ground beef though, because I'm like, oh, a taco bowl would be perfect for ground beef. And then I would be like, oh, check, got that. Need this, and like this will be left unmarked, and then you just keep doing that. and then you get ingredients for the taco bowl and have those on hand. Same thing for dinners. So a dinner idea that I always do, like sweet potato. I'm just gonna shorten that a little bit. Sweet potato plus, let's do sweet potato plus chicken breasts, because I found those in my freezer, plus broccoli. And you're probably thinking, that looks very plain. I'm adding seasonings, I'm adding flavor with oil, I'm adding, so like a fat source if I need an extra bit of fat there, avocado or cheese of some sort. You know, you just think. And you could also use the oil towards your fat source like avocado or olive oil, and that could be a very simple meal. Doll it up with some herbs and spices and you got yourself a meal there. Another option would be just kind of like, you could do salmon plus rice. I like to do basmati, so we're gonna specify that. Lower glycemic, so that could be a good option. And then let's say green beans. And then how I would doll that up is add avocado, or I would add some feta or something to like goat cheese, add a fat there. Or if I cooked my green beans in like butter or avocado oil or olive oil, then that would be a fat source. There's also fat coming from the salmon, so that's good. And then snacks, as I'm making my list, I'm gonna be like hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurt with berries, because plain Greek yogurt is not great when you're just having a bowl full. You want to make that with berries, and if you had granola, you can do that. But that's really kind of like very simple, and this is very realistic for me. Extremely realistic. And it might change and vary, like breakfast and lunch often vary, because I'm like, 1 week of that, I'm gonna switch it up so I don't get sick of it. And that's kind of how I do it. And then you'd add like the date. So I'm just gonna add this date, let's just say that. And then you're like, okay, this is, let's just say the week started on the 12th. And then you're like, okay, the week of, I'm having this. So that's how I really make my grocery list. Again, I use the Notes app on my iPhone, and it's a lifesaver because your phone is always with you and you can just check it off, check off the bubbles as you go. The fifth step would be is to do your grocery run. If you are so busy that you cannot make it to the grocery store, use your resources wisely. Instacart these days is amazing. You could also just, you know, spend a little time. That could be family time. That could be you and your spouse's time to go get groceries together. Buy proteins in bulk, buy carbs in bulk. It will really save money in the long run. Then for the seventh step is the protecting time for meal prep. And I am not joking, you guys. It could get done in 30 minutes to an hour. If you work smarter and not harder, like you get the chicken and salmon baking in the oven, you get the ground beef cooking on the stove, you got the overnight mason jars out, and like it could be all done. And then you're good for the next 4 days. Even 1 hour, trading 1 hour for many hours throughout the week, this could save you. This could save you throughout the week. Of course, when you're working around a family, that can be a little bit different, but maybe you add like an extra meal to have quick ingredients on hand for these easy batch prep meals. Throw on the plate. Your kids, your spouse, whoever can build their plate how they want. But if you're in a fat loss journey, you can build it, you know, have more fiber and have a complex carb, and then have your protein there and adequate fats to help you towards your goals. But this is really a true look into my meal prep. So you've seen it and you've seen all the steps, and I will say like this honestly takes about 15-20 minutes when I just sit down and I do, okay, the think ahead, plan my week out. Then I go to the pantry inventory. And then third thing, it might take an extra 5-10 minutes to do the finding the meals. If I'm like, oh, I want to try something new, it might take a little bit of searching, but it's fun. I make it part of my life because it makes my life so much easier, less stressful throughout the week. Realistically, what I like to do is I protect my Sundays. And I've been doing this for the last month, and I've been trying hard to protect my Sundays to be what Sundays are for. A rest, a whole lot of Jesus, and using that time to recoup, recover for the week. And really using that Sunday, honoring God, honoring the fact that rest is okay for your week to go so much better. And it has brought so much peace to my week. It's not perfect, and I'm not perfect at it because I'm still working at it and trying to protect those Sundays, but Sundays are my day because that's the beginning of my week. Monday might be the beginning of your week. So you treat Monday as your Sunday. Is I will block off an hour to get all this done because it saves me 5-6+ hours throughout the week. Now there's nights where we're like, yeah, let's cook a meal because that's fun, and you can be flexible. So as long as you can adopt an adaptable mindset, especially when it comes to meal planning, it's gonna go so much more smoothly for you, and you're not gonna be as stressed out about it. But in the beginning, please, please, please do not overwhelm yourself with making 20 meals and separating them. Make it easy on yourself. This is what I realistically do every single week, and it works. Like, it works great. Try it out. And if it works for you, great. Make some tweaks to tailor it to you and yourself, your family, whoever you're with. And I hope it helps. And leave a comment below if you want to see more content like this or something different, something specific you've been wondering about. But yeah, truly, just take what you need, live what you don't. And thank you so much for watching thus far. And if you haven't seen already on my socials, I'm having a Strong, Lean, and Thriving workshop. It's an online workshop that you can enter in through a Zoom link. And that is happening on February 19th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And for those who can't attend at that exact time, you can still sign up. You'll get the recording the following day, but you get a freebie with it. You get a little workbook with it. Just for attending. And yeah, the more the merrier. You can check it out at the link below in the description down here. If you want some more help, we're talking about stress, sleep, nutrition, exercise, and a bonus little tip on how building muscle and fat loss can affect hormones in a positive way when we focus on fueling, nourishing, and strengthening our bodies as women. So practical fat loss strategies for ya. Thanks again for watching, and stay strong, stay nourished, and I will see you in the next one.